This is actually pretty good. Inuyashiki is convinced by experience that he is nothing special. Time has made him ever more estranged from his family, who are repeatedly disappointed in his averageness. He looks far older than 58. Yeah, he's supposed to be 58, he's aging like white people, and his job has yet to pay him a wage that'll impress his family. So when a doctor tells him in a completely dismissive tone, as if he's reading off his watch, "You have cancer and are going to die," he cries and keeps it a secret. Not because he's short on time, but because he's afraid that even his own family will feel nothing as he passes. So he takes off. Ichiro runs from home to avoid that reality. Hiro Shishigami is an ordinary kid. He has friends, he's popular, he cries while reading manga like anyone else. So how does he become a mass-murdering psychopath, and why does Inuyashiki, who has next to nothing going for him, become the hero of this story? Oh, there it is. Ichiro finds himself in an abandoned park. Hiro decides to take a stroll there at the same time, and both are hit and killed by a bunch of aliens in a sort of intergalactic car accident. You gotta understand that the country that these aliens are from, they're not known for being good drivers. The aliens are then like, oh shit, oh fuck, we just killed 2 animals on this planet. So after having a brief argument on what to do, they replace both Ichiro and Hiro's bodies with the only robot replacements they have: combat models. He wakens the next day, and of course there's that superhero scene where Ichiro figures out he has powers and is like, don't open the door, I'm wrestling. After barely coming to terms with who he is, Ichiro returns to that park and realizes that he can't even cry over the situation he's found himself in. Is he even human? His new ears pick something up. He overhears a homeless man. The guy is down on his luck and finally gets a second chance at life. He's gonna move back in with his wife and start all over. But as usual, children don't want people to be happy. That's why they get born and stuff. The crew of kids come to burn and possibly murder him for no reason at all. A problem I found actually exists in Japan. Ichiro, despite being terrified, despite not thinking he's special, decides to step in and help. And it's not until he sees the bright, elated expression on the man's face that he realizes this is what he was made for. This is what makes him feel human, saving people. Hiro once said, if they aren't friends or family, who cares what happens to someone? Which is a feeling that a lot of people have to some extent. Only Hiro's feelings were contorted to a more gray, unfeeling mess. He's grown up in a society where his personality is not the norm. You're expected to care when someone or something dies in front of you, but he doesn't. So Hiro complicitly acts how he's supposed to while secretly isolated. Becoming a robot was only the last domino to fall in place for him to ask, am I even human? The test that he takes to answer this question is one of the most toe-curling instances of brutality I've ever had to sit through in anime. Toe-curling is in cringing, not busting a fat fucking splooge on your shampooed carpet. Here it is.
Tadaima. Okaeri nasai. Dore? Bang! 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 Bang!
This test reveals that the more cruelty he can inflict on others, the more he feels something. Sadness, happiness, something. It makes him feel human. As the consequences from Hiro's crimes begin trickling down into his life, he's pushed further and further into depravity. To him, he's done nothing wrong, and yet his life begins to come crashing down. As he falls further down the rabbit hole, Ichiro becomes exposed to more and more evil, causing him to step up and become a greater force of good in every episode. These two are total opposites down to their core, so it only makes sense that they would clash as a product of their individual journeys. I believe that's called good writing. The plot is so fucking cool. Here we go. So Ichiro and Hiro only clash on occasion for most of the show. It's sold in halves. Half the story is about the old man and his adventures, and the other half is about Hiro and his evolving relationships. So when we go to the old guy, we watch him form his new identity as a hero. There's fight scenes which range from pretty funny to brutal as hell. The show is immensely out of pocket sometimes, if you can't tell. He ends up sucking it. But the thing that kind of spoke to me were the themes. Ichiro was given this robot body and spends the series doing the only thing that validates his humanity. He's saving people pretending to be human. But that's not reality. Reality is, Ichiro always cared deeply for everyone. You can see it when he adopts a dog off the street that no one wants around. It's only just now that he's given the power to make a real change. Despite him claiming he's not human, the moment he lost his body, he couldn't help but defend and heal others, which he always had in him. When the spaceship hit that night, he was reborn, whereas Hiro, he never cared about other people and always felt different. It's by chance he gains abilities that let him act out his impulses. So when he does, although he's the same mentally, it's the responses from the people around him that make him question if he's even human. The guy even says that the night that spaceship hit him, he died. Death, rebirth, good and evil. I don't really give a shit about themes or anything like that, but it was stimulating to think about what makes these guys tick as I watched. The action, which could use some work, is definitely there. You just gotta deal with some CGI. Sometimes the grandpa looks like he's carved out of a bar of soap. It's part of the business. And when we zip back over to Hiro, we get to watch disgusting murders. Some things I enjoyed production-wise are kind of subtle, like the voice acting. It's understated. The delivery often isn't... It's more like, know what I mean? The characters talk like real people, which is awesome. The characters are unique. You never know what's going to come out of their mouths or into them. It creates a lively and mature world seeing people act and talk like humans. Again, I think this is indicative of good writing. Don't let that convince you the show's boring. There's great themes and morals, but the anime never teeters on the grounds of preachiness. It's absurd, self-aware, and tells an oh my god, that was scary. It's absurd, self-aware, and tells an awesome story. That being said, what the fuck were you guys thinking with the music choice? The music in this show is insane. Ichiro will be going through an extremely emotional loss or something, and they play goofy music. Why would you do that?
生きてる。俺生きてる感じがする。お母さん、お腹すいた。お母さん？何が目的？どんな漫画読む？漫画。どんな漫画読む？
That is not how this scene is supposed to play out. Despite my critique on the music, not much really happened to make me not like the episodes. I sat down and didn't have an itch to get back up, even though I'd already seen it a ways back. The old man is the hero, and some young guy is the villain. It's unconventional, but the story is great. This show was made in 2017. Between then and 2020, at least 855 anime were made. Sometimes there's just shit we miss and no one really talks about. I think this is one of those, so if you haven't seen it, check it out, and you might end up enjoying your time. Or don't, and just keep watching my videos and comment because I read those. My name is Nord and you're watching Sponsored. What?
I know what you were watching last night. I know what you did.
Get it? I'm pretending to be your internet service provider, or school, or mom. Your internet use is naked without a VPN. A lot of us run into situations where a VPN would be the meta. For example, there's sites that remember your IP, preventing you from certain benefits, like download limits. A VPN in part lets you pretend to be a completely different person in a completely different location. It's pretty overpowered. You can also download and share files anonymously. I don't gotta explain that. And also, let's say that you're traveling. I just found out that if you book a hotel from another country, they'll often charge more. It's pretty fucked up. So you can circumvent that by just, well, let's pick an imaginary country. Pick Denmark. Yeah, we're not traveling to Denmark. Let's click on Germany. And just like that, I can view a hotel site exactly as if I were in the country. By now your mind should be full of possibilities, so if you'd like a hookup, might I suggest Nord? They've given me a unique link and code to get you 73% off with an extra 4 months free. That comes to $318 a month. That's about it. Peace. NordVPN in no way, shape, or form encourages making fun of Denmark. Denmark is a great country full of rich culture and beautiful architecture. It is also made up and very funny. But again, that is my doing and not a word from Nord.